Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 352. Can you believe that? 352 episodes. It's Elizabeth Chance with Busy Living Sober. And it is Wednesday, June 14th. I did not record the day before. I'm actually going to record day of live, kind of. I'm just going to do it on here and then put it right away. It's actually not going to be live, but it's going to be on here. Maybe I'll do a live video at some point, but today I'm recording it, and here I am at 11:52 a.m. on Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. And before I go any further, I have to give a shout out to our sponsors, SoberLink. As a busy living sober listener, you know that my mission is to eliminate this shame of addiction through open and honest communication. So, how does one do that? Well, SoberLink is a remote alcohol monitoring system that allows you to rebuild trust, sharing your recovery with your support network in real time. As a monitored client, you'll have 2 to 3 opportunities a day to prove your sobriety to loved ones through a series of scheduled tests. Once you test, your identity is confirmed and your results are sent instantly to everyone in your support network, making it easier to rebuild trust and improve communication over time. To learn more about SoberLink, download the resource guide, Tips for Keeping Busy, Living Sober, or to request a $50 off promo code by visiting www.soberlink.com/BLS for Busy Living Sober. How is everybody? How is everybody? I hope everybody's well that's listening today. And I just want to do a little shout out. If you like it, please share this with your friends, with loved ones, with friends, with anybody you think might find this podcast relevant, and subscribe. Please, 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 please subscribe. And so I'm back. I went on my little vacation for 10 days. As you guys know, I was going through like crazy times here, relationship issues, house going being crazy, kids craziness, all this stuff that just piled up high, and made life kind of stressful, as you could hear from my previous podcasts. And I took this time to do me and take care of me. And you're like, wait, you did that? And I did. I mean, so many times we do not take care of ourselves, especially as moms. We are the last people on the list. We're like, I can't take care of me. I've got to take care of the dog. I've got to make dinner. I've got to take care of the kids. I got to take care of my spouse, my partner, whatever. And I don't take care of me. And I've realized that I need to take care of me. And as crazy as it sounds, I think I need to take care of me 4 times a year. I think 4 times a year, I've got to set aside time. It can be maybe even 3 days. Whatever it is, I need a change of scenery. I need to do something different for me. Now, that means I can drive in my car and go somewhere else in this state. I could probably even go stay in a hotel down the street, stay with a friend, whatever it is, but to do something that changes things up. Because if we change our environment, we change all the way we're thinking, right? If we change that, we get out of ourselves, we can go, oh my gosh, I can look at things with a new set of glasses. But if we stay content in the same place and we don't do anything, and I know there's people out there that are listening that money is an issue and you can't do this. But as I mentioned, just taking a day to spend in a park or something changes our perspective. Getting away from the people that we're with all the time, as much as we love them, we sometimes need to like put the mask on ourselves and take care of ourselves. And so I've come up with a new mission when I went away. And because I feel like something had to change with Busy Living Sober, not the name or anything like that, but I wanted to tell you that I've changed what my focus is going to be. And my focus is going to be the place where moms can come is Busy Living Sober. And we can come here because our families may not look normal to us, right? Normal, and I'm doing this in air quotes. And our families don't look like what the Cleavers look like, or what do people look like on TV. And that doesn't mean that we're not okay, that our families don't look normal. Our kids push us and we feel powerless. You are not alone. I've been through so many things in this life that I've been on this planet for 54 years. And I've been a daughter, I've been a granddaughter, I've been a sister, I've been a cousin, I've been, a student for most of my life. I continue to be a student, but I've been married twice. I have stepkids. I've been through divorce. I've gotten sober. I've watched kids that need to get sober. I've watched friends die from the disease of alcoholism. I've watched kids die from mental health. Like right now, I feel like we're living in a really, really hard time. And I feel like we focus a lot on the addict, the individual addict, but we don't focus on the mommies that are out there and the mommies that are going through stuff that we feel like, ah, I'm an empty nester. I put all my effort into my kids. Now who am I? That's a really hard place to be. It's a really hard place to get to this place. Like, who am I? What defines me? And then our kids have problems, either mental health or they are in addiction. And who do we talk to? All these things that I just talked about bring up shame, right? Because sometimes we feel like, how can I feel like I don't have enough when I live in this country and I can walk outside of my house and I can go get what I need and I have enough money in the bank to do what I need to do, but I feel empty inside. I can't complain, but you feel like I need to complain. I need to feel like I'm not alone. And I'm too scared to tell my friends how I'm feeling. How many of you out there feel like this? Like, I don't have a lot of friends that I can tell you that I tell a lot of my stuff to. I'm being totally honest here. I tend to focus more on how somebody else is doing than myself. I do that because it feels, it's more comfortable to actually hear about your problems than to hear about mine. It's more comfortable to be in a place where I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on you and I'm not going to focus on me. And maybe all my problems will disappear. They don't disappear. They're still there. It's just for moments I get a little reprieve and I don't have to worry about myself. But having somebody to listen to and having outlets to take care of ourselves, which we never learn, right? We never learn how to take care of ourselves. It's always learning, especially as a mom, we have to take care of our kids. And then I feel like the other thing that's really hard is today, because the world is so expensive, both mommy and daddy have to work, right? Or mommy and daddy. Everybody has to work. So it makes raising kids really hard because you don't feel like how can I do you, kid, when I got to I haven't taken care of me. And I feel like I'm going fucking crazy. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I feel pulled in every direction. And I think teaching people how to take care of themselves and realizing that it's okay to have a breakdown. It's okay that sometimes we might react in a way that we're kind of not proud of. It doesn't make the world over. We can restart our day at any moment. That is the important thing, is learning the tools that are there at our disposal to go, you know what, I need to restart the day. During this journey that I've been on, I'm a certified recovery coach, I'm an interventionist, I'm a health and wellness coach. And what I've learned from all of this stuff, it's something I want to share with everyone. I want to be able to tell you guys that this is what you can do to get to this place so that you feel better. What it's like to have friends. It's been really crazy. My whole entire life, I feel like I picked friends because they were popular than me, they had prettier things than me. I wanted to be friends with them. But it wasn't really about having a real friendship where we talked about things, where we could laugh together, where we could relate to things. It was more about outside stuff. It wasn't about inside stuff. It wasn't like, this is how I feel. How do you feel? And I want to have friends that are like that today. I don't want to have friends where it's all about the genes, which is like not, I don't want to have like dumb talk. Not that that's dumb if that's what you're into, but like I want to have deep relationships where we can bond and where we can talk about things that are really going on in our lives. I do have one best friend that I've had for my whole entire life. Luckily, she's in recovery as well. I've known her since I was in middle school. She's been on my podcast a bunch of times. Um, I've had Jeannie in my life, and it's not always been that we've been in each other's lives. Like we're always there, but we've had times where we talk to each other all the time, and then there's years that we don't talk at all. But having a relationship with that, building a friendship is something I've learned takes time, it takes energy, and speaking your truth we don't always speak our truth, right? Because we want to be a people pleaser. We want to tell you what you want us to hear, what you want to hear. We've kind of figured out because we're so smart. Women are so smart. We figured out what you wanted to hear. So we will go and tell you what you want to hear, even though it might not be a truth. It might not be what we honestly feel in our hearts, but we've told you this. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Getting to this place where you're authentic, where you're honest and have a real friendship and you don't have to be ashamed of who you are. Doesn't that sound amazing? We can do that. We can have friendships where we can be our authentic selves and we know that we aren't hurting somebody else by what we're saying. We know that we've got a mutual respect for each other. Growing those friendships is huge. And I know that when our families don't look like what you think they look like because of social media, and you see the person that's over in Capri or the person that's at their ranch somewhere, and it looks absolutely perfect, and every child looks perfect, and everybody looks so glamorous, and you're just like, holy shit, my house is a fucking general. I've got stuff everywhere. I can't even brush my teeth hardly. My kids are going crazy. My kids want this, they want that. Setting boundaries is something we never talk about, right? We don't grow up going, our parents going, okay, now you're going to teach your children boundaries, what's right and what's wrong. I have to tell you, I've always been a voyeur in life. I watch, 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 watch. And growing up, I watched so much destruction and so many different things. And it was kind of crazy because when I was raising my children, I did stuff that was totally opposite to what I was raised like. And it wasn't comfortable. Setting boundaries is not comfortable. I'm still learning today my worth. Why don't we know our worth, right? We think, oh, I'm just a mom. I'm just a mom. I don't know if any of you guys have saw that video on YouTube that was going around over Mother's Day, where they had this gentleman doing an interview, and you could see him and he's like, so you're in for the interview. And so do you realize that this job is 24/7? You don't ever get to have a break. Um, you have to cook every day, 3 times a day you have to cook. And the people might not like your food, but you still have to cook it. And you have to do some wash every day. And you might wash something and then walk into the room and find the wash on the floor that you just washed. And now it's on the floor and it's all rumpled up in the corner. And you're like, I just washed that and folded that, and now it's in the corner. And then you're gonna have to you know, drive the car 800 times a day. You're gonna have to organize 50 people, and some people might say, guess what, now I'm sick and I'm throwing up and I have to go clean them up, and you have to be a nurse. And it went on ad nauseum. And the reality of it, what the description was being a mom. And we say, because there's no monetary thing with money and being a mom, then it means that we're less than. How screwed up is that? We are bringing up the next generation of this world, and we sit here and we question whether or not we're worth it, whether or not I need to actually take a break and go get my nails done. I need to take a break and go for a walk every day. I need to take a break and I need to go to a meeting. I need to take a break and I need to get my hair done. I need to get my nails done. There's certain things that I have to do as a mom to take care of myself. And I don't want to have to feel guilty about it, because you shouldn't. You should not. I remember my ex-husband calling me and getting my hair done. How much longer are you going to be? I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting my fucking hair done. Can I have a break for 1 hour to get my hair done? It's difficult. Raising a family is hard. And then if you have one of your children that is not looking normal and doing normal things and is causing issues in your life, you're like, holy shit, now what? Now I'm a terrible mother. I totally screwed this kid up. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How am I supposed to get out of this? What am I supposed to do? I feel so alone. I've paid for all these treatments. I paid for all these therapists, and still this child is not doing what I want them to do to look normal. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Normal is a piece of Wonder Bread. Because when you buy a pack of Wonder Bread and you look at each piece of bread, it all looks the exact same, doesn't it? It's all white. It all has that brown crust around it besides the heel at the end that nobody ever wants. That's normal. I don't know anyone that's normal. I really don't. There's people on the outside that say that they're normal, and I'm kind of scared of them because I'm like, how can they be so normal? Oh my God, what's going on with them? Because I am so not normal. And we're not supposed to be. Life is a series of ups and downs, isn't it? That's what so many people say. Deepak Chopra, watch the ocean. We're up and we're down. We're just breathing through it. I pray, I meditate, I do yoga, not all the time. I go on walks, I ride my bike, I try to do the best each day. But getting to this place where you realize, like, there's no finish line. I thought when I was raising my kids, I was a good mom, right? I was a great mom. I did everything I was supposed to do. I got sober. I was picked them up from school. There was no alcohol in my house. I took them to every PTA meeting. I did all these things. And here I am with one of my children not even talking to me. I thought that I was doing the best job. But even when you think you're doing the best job, life happens. Humanity happens. Kids become people. They do things that we might not think are a good idea to do. They may stop saying, they may just go, I'm not talking to you anymore. And what do you do? Do you just sit there and go, oh my gosh, I'm a horrible person? My child's addicted to drugs. I know I did everything right. What am I supposed to do? How do we feel okay with that? I didn't do a good job. I beat myself up. But the reality is, I know I did a good job, right? You know, you did a good job. They didn't go without food. They didn't go without shelter. They were taken care of. But we think that because they're screwed up, that's a reflection on us. Some people have some people have the DNA, right? It's just DNA. Um, some people, it's interesting. I have realized that I get up in the morning and I try to do the best I can do each and every day. Some days I screw up. Some days, I'm having a great day, and some days I'm not having a great day. Some days I react, some days I don't react. That is okay. That is okay. I don't have to react every day. I don't have to be a certain way every single solitary day of my life, right? I just need to know that I'm trying to do my best. I find it really interesting. I was working, we've been doing a lot of construction in our house and we're doing a lot of it ourselves. And I know, yes, I'm old and so is JF. And we were sitting here one day and we actually had some people that were from another country working in our home, and they had escaped the country that they were originally from, and they were sitting here and they were working in this house, and they were there was no air conditioning in this house, and I'm in Florida, by the way. No air conditioning, that there was no toilet at that point. And so it's hot as you know what. There's no place to go to the bathroom. There was no running water, and they were working in this house day in and day out, and they didn't complain once. And I noticed that. I was like, wow, this person works so hard, and they're getting the work done. And they didn't complain once. I don't know if they complained to their friend, but they didn't complain to us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? So JF and I then went and did a job here together, and it was hot and it was bug, whatever. It was not comfortable conditions whatsoever. We were in a house though, and we after an hour we're like, oh my God, this is too hard. This is so hard. And as Americans, we've gotten to this place where it's just like, because we can go to the store and we can get all this stuff and we can make all these things happen and all the rest of it, we're like, it's too hard. But is it really too hard? No, I think it builds character. I think that telling your kids, for me, I need to stop pushing myself to be something that everybody else wants me to be. I've got to be comfortable in my own skin. I have pluses and I have minuses. I don't need to focus on the minuses. I don't need to focus on what I did before that was fucked up, that is kind of embarrassing. I don't need to focus on that. I need to focus on my positives. I need to focus on the gratitude. I need to focus on what brings people together, not what tears us apart. I think we need to all come together. Right now, what's going on politically in this country is crazy. What is going on with this transgender stuff? Crazy. Woke. Crazy. Crazy. It's such an extreme. It's such an extreme. And we are just sitting here going, oh my God, what's happening? How do we get through this? How do we manage? How do we manage? When all the grown-ups in the world that we're supposed to look at, like the presidents and all the rest of it, are totally out of control. And that's supposed to be our example. These people that are literally um, the jesters, these actors and everything else that are acting inappropriately, and we're supposed to say, oh, okay, that's okay. That's okay. We can walk around like these freaks, like we're in the Hunger Games. I feel like we live in the Hunger Games right now, and the only people that can change it is us. I believe moms can come together and we can change this whole thing up. I believe we can come together and go, you know what? This whole thing, everybody needs to be spanked and put to timeout and learned their lesson. They need to be like, you know what? This is the way you're going to behave. You're going to timeout and we're going to put you there and we're going to keep you there for a long time. I think it seems like no more. We see what you're doing. We see what you're trying to do to our kids. And saying no to your kids is okay, and saying to your kids, you know what, you feel like this or you feel like that. It is okay to say, no, you can't feel like that. That's not okay. That is not okay in my house. If you want to go dress like something, go right ahead. See how that feels. But anything else, I'm not changing anything. I'm sorry. When you're 18 years old, you can make your own choices. But as a young person, guess what? It's my house and it's my rules. And some of you are going to be like, oh my God, that's so harsh. That's so harsh. Let me tell you something. Kids are like dogs. They like to know the parameters. As much as they say to you, I think I want to do this. And you're like, well, wait a minute. I've been on this planet a little bit longer than you, and I don't think that's a good idea. So you're not going to do it. And they might say, I hate you. I think you're the worst person in the whole world. And guess what? That's okay. Because guess what? You make friends. You make friends that you talk to. And those are the people that your kids are always going to love you. I listened to this thing on NPR years ago, and friends will always be there and have got your back. And some friends will come some will come in for a season and leave for a reason. Some will stay for a long time, and some will come and some will go, and some will come in and out of your life forever. It's all okay. It's all okay. This is all how you grow. We grow by learning things. We grow through going through hard times. As I was going to say, on NPR, they talked about how these kids would go spend camp visiting their parents in prison. So they would have a camp right next, so the kids could go to this camp and the prison would be right next door, and you would go and visit your parents. Because even if your parents burn you with cigarettes, your kids will still love you. It's just the reality of the situation. So if you think not giving in to your kids is going to make them hate you, let them hate you. That's okay. Because we have had more life experience than they do. So as mothers, we're allowed to say, that's not a good idea. I'm not going to let you do that. I used to say to my kids all the time, they'd be like, well, mom, this is what I want to do. And I'd say, well, if I do what everything that you want to do, it would be trouble. And the only reason I say that is because I've tried to do that and it didn't turn out so good. And they'd say, well, how do you know? And I'd be like, well, I've been on this planet longer. Now, obviously, at 18 years old, your children are going to make mistakes and they're going to do things and they're going to learn from things. And some of these things are going to be so painful to watch. But the reality is, that's how I learned. That's how I learned. I got into trouble and my parents didn't save me. And they said, all right, good luck, God bless. You just made that choice, then now you're gonna have to deal with it. And it was not easy. It was not easy. I haven't picked the easier, softer way all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? I haven't always picked the easier, softer way. I've picked the hard way. If I had followed what my mom had said and did what my parents had told me to do, I think my life would have been easier. I think it would have been a lot easier. Fortunately, unfortunately, I always picked the harder way. I always picked the way that was so much more challenging and so much more goddamn painful. But I did it. And I can tell you this, I can help you so you don't have to feel alone. You don't have to feel alone because I can tell you, life is not easy. You know, there's good days, there's bad days. It's not easy. But you know what makes it richer is the relationships you find along the way, the friends you make along the way. You know, we have our families, but then we have to learn about these friend things. And this friend thing has like totally disappeared, I feel like, in a lot of ways. I mean, I see these girls going on these trips and it's all about getting fucked up and getting drunk and being like, oh my God, I just went on vacation. I got drunk the whole time. Well, good for you. But how you come back feeling exhausted, you want to kill your kids, feel like that was really fun. Now I've got to go back to my job that is nonstop 24 hours a day and I'm hungover. How am I going to do that? That's not fun. That is not fun. I've done that. It's not fun. Realizing, you know, all these housewife shows, all they talk about is getting drunk. It's like, really? Like, you get drunk, you get on TV, you have these like fights with your siblings, your family members, and we sit there and we watch it like it's a train wreck. I can't watch them anymore actually because they're so bad. It's so bad. It is so bad watching these housewives. I'm like, seriously, these are grown women and you have a camera following you, and I know you get better ratings if you're fighting, but it's not attractive. Do we want to be known in the world as the people that go on TV and get really drunk and get into fights with each other over our siblings, over our kids, and all this other? Do we want to put that on TV? Seriously? Do we want to? No, I don't think so. Does it make us feel better? Because it's like we're not alone. We actually get into fights like that too. I don't want to show my fights to everybody in the world. No, I don't. I don't. I want to be able to come together and learn how to be friends and learn how to be okay in my own skin and laugh sometimes and know that this isn't so bad. If you watch the news, it's bad. Don't watch the news. If you're one political party or another political party, just watch that. Whatever you have to do, whatever. If you have to watch the news, watch that. I tend to do that myself, and it gives me. It's just how I keep up on the news is that I get to hear it with a slant the way I like it, and it makes me feel more like butterflies and Tinkerbell than negative. I don't want to feel negative. We already all went through COVID. It's time to just come together. It's time to come together and get busy living sober. And being sober doesn't mean you have to be off alcohol, by the way. Sober means like living a life of gratitude, living a life that you're proud of yourself, living a life where you are authentic, living a life that you can look in the mirror and you can like yourself, living a life that is beyond whatever you ever dreamed. And did you forget to dream because life's gotten so crazy? We got to dream again. We got to have hope. We got to have, oh my gosh, it can't just be that we feel so bad because our family and our life doesn't look the way that the normal people's does. So I'm going to be working on this. I'm working on a program. I'm working on an app. I'm going to do all these fun things. And if you know anybody who you think could benefit from this, will you let me know? Will you reach out to me? Email me at Elizabeth, Elizabeth, at Elizabeth, Chance, CHANCE.com. That's Elizabeth at ElizabethChance.com. You can find this information in my bio. But realize that sometimes you got to go take a break for you. Realize that it is okay. We are on this journey together. We are not on this journey just by ourselves. We got to go build friendships. We got to go start liking ourselves because I'm going to tell you this. Mommy and daddy like themselves. Our kids are probably going to like themselves a little bit better too. I can promise you that. I hope you enjoyed episode 352, self-care. And again, this is the Elizabeth Chance. Please subscribe to my channel if you like it. Please tell your friends about it. Go check out SoberLink if you need that alcohol monitoring tool. It's an amazing technology. Go check that out at soberlink.com/BLS. And until next time, keep getting busy, living sober. Take care, everybody. Talk to you next week. Bye.